EasyJet fly to 18 destinations from Belfast International. And like Mikey, Verity Hunt Ballard should be on a flight to Scotland.
Hi, I'm running incredibly late for a flight and I have to get on a plane. It's going to Edinburgh at 11 o'clock.
There's no way we can get you on that flight today, madam. The check-in's closed.
There's nothing else going on.
No, I mean check-in closed 15 minutes ago, so...
You took me to the wrong airport.
I mean, we could transfer you maybe to the Glasgow flight if that's any good at 14:45.
Cool, I just have to think.
All right, no problem.
While Verity may accept she's missed her flight, her dad has other ideas.
Sorry, excuse me, can I just interrupt a moment? My daughter has to go to Edinburgh in 10 minutes. You're saying she can't get on the plane?
No, sir,
she's from Australia. I've just come from the Belfast City Airport. I insist that she gets on the plane.
She can't get on the plane,
Is there somebody else to speak to?
You can speak to my supervisor.
Where are they?
Say exactly the
Where are
same. Jan 2, Team Leader Stewart.
And they're saying we can't get on the bloody plane. The plane hasn't left the tarmac. That doesn't go on in any other airport in the world. If you're there, they make sure they stop the plane until such times as you get on the plane.
Hi.
Look, I just want to protest. My daughter's got a flight to Edinburgh. It leaves at 11. We got here at 1:45. We went to the city airport by mistake.
Right.
We've done 1,000,000 miles an hour to get here.
Right.
I insist that she gets on that flight.
So you realise you are 15 minutes late for the flight for the agreed time?
I understand that.
So you do agree whenever you book the flight, you agree to turn up with the 30 minutes. Just let me finish for 1 second, please.
This is not EasyJet. This is HardJet.
It's not at all, sir.
I'm just making it clear.
All we're doing is asking you to turn up within 30 minutes.
It's not a problem now. We didn't read the fine print. Verity needs to be on the plane. Somebody's waiting for her. We've just rushed from the city airport. We're both jet lagged. So what's the problem?
The process to get you from
I understand about the process. I've just explained to you about our situation.
Right.
Do you ever make exceptions? Have you been to other airports internationally?
I've actually worked in them
You
as well.
have you?
Yeah.
And you know that they keep planes back if somebody isn't on board?
Not all the time.
They do a lot.
Not all the time. If we would actually go on board, I'm sure, and ask those people, they would say, no, we don't want to wait in case our flight's delayed, in case we have to sit on the tarmac for hours. They would say no.
You don't know that. You haven't
complain.
asked them.
And no one's going to, because the plane is now on its way to Edinburgh. Since his daughter has definitely missed her Edinburgh flight, Peter is taking time out to calm down, although he can't quite let go.
So we're able to get you somewhere.
But you're not going to get to Glasgow. Just get somebody to meet her in Edinburgh, okay?
Well, we can get you to Edinburgh today. You said today. We can do that as well.
What time?
Well, if you just let me go to the system, we can
And I'm not
definitely
paying any extra money, okay?
That's not a problem. We can get you there, okay?
What time?
Okay,
Oh, they were very intransigent about it, which is very Northern Ireland attitude anyway, isn't it? You can bend the rules. The plane hadn't left. Even after I'd spoken with the supervisor, it was still on the tarmac. I think it's an incredibly black and white stance to take.
Is it true that in Glasgow is no good to you? Is that good to you? Is it a flight at 2:45, 3?
I didn't even know how far away Glasgow and Edinburgh.
It would be you're sort of going from airport to airport for around 45 minutes.
Okay, so can I just swap the flights over?
We'll better get you onto that.
I'm really sorry about that. It's just...
You're okay. I understand the situation you've been in. And obviously, you've endeavoured to try and get here as quick as possible, and obviously to make the flight. Hence the reason why we're going to do the change for you.
I'm going to go to Glasgow because Faye said she could pick me up from anywhere I'll catch bus.
The father wanted to communicate everything, i.e. by shouting or anything, and insisted that his daughter was allowed on the flight. Once we spoke to the daughter, it was a completely different story. She had the reverse role. She was listening to what I was able to say.
Luton Airport. Outside a calm summer's morning, but inside the terminal, rebellion is in the air.
We've been on the road now for 23 hours. Thank you, EasyJet. You're absolutely wonderful. Did you come across to you too?
Smoking in the airport is banned, but passengers Maggie Panter and Chris Verian don't care. Their flight from Malaga has been diverted to Luton, and all they want is a promised taxi home to Nottingham. Maggie and Chris are determined to get their taxi home, but the crafty cigarette she's concealing isn't going to help their cause.
Madam, you can't smoke here.
Don't start there, sorry, just leave it there.
Just leave it. I don't care if they take me to prison.
You can't get an aeroplane here either.
I'd rather be in prison.
Yeah. You can't get a taxi home like we were promised. Call for security.
Call for security.
They came in front of me. They've landed from East Midlands. They were supposed to go to East Midlands last night, but they've cancelled. They're coming here.
I ain't got a clue what you're having to get me. Call security. Call security. I don't care. I'm not having a go at you. I don't care if you call security. I don't care if they arrest me. I'd rather go Just in prison and have some food.
Don't you stop.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying you need to put the cigarette out because we have smoke sensing and it will evacuate the whole building.
Well, let him go off then.
Give the publicity to your...
No, they're right in front of me. I'm on the sound.
Staff there had asked her to put the cigarette out. Obviously, she is annoyed and she wasn't very happy that they asked her, but it's a case we have smoke detectors above the desk, and if we'd had to evacuate the whole building, the airport wouldn't have been impressed just because of that.
Get this, EasyJet, don't do it. Forget EasyJet, they're the worst company in the world.
Bristol Airport. The Edinburgh flight's boarding, but there are a few passengers missing.
I think we're going to get a few of these tonight, Angel.
Excuse me. We were told if we were here half an hour before, we could get on the flight. We were here well over half an hour before, and they've told us now we can't get on. The plane's still out there. We were there as time specified.
Who are we talking to? This one or this one?
Well, we're both on the same flight. As long as we can get on the flight, it doesn't
We'll deal
matter.
with this passenger first. If you just wait.
So then we're going to miss our flight altogether. Thanks so much. That's very, very clever.
That's the urgency. Give them the urgency.
The flight closed at 5 past.
We were there.
And we were there, and she's saying she shouted. She has not shouted.
Yes,
We've been
she
stood
has.
there.
She has shouted.
We've been stood there since before 7 o'clock.
What's your surname?
Mark Smith is desperate to get his son's girlfriend on the flight.
So we'll miss our flight then.
You've already missed it, sir.
Absolutely unreal. Never seen such in all my life. So you heard her shout from over here, but we didn't hear her shout stood right in
Yes, I
front
did,
of
because
her.
I actually rang and asked her to shout. She
So
then
how
rang
can we
me
not
back.
hear? We're stood right there. We've been
She
stood
then-
there since 1 minute to 7.
What do you want me to do about
The
that?
passenger was here at 1 minute to 7. Stood there in
It was
that
1
line.
minute
They
past,
never
you
shouted
just
to me.
said. You just said it was 1
No, I
minute
never
past.
said 1 minute past. Record the bloody camera there. 1 minute to.
If you show me once more, I would close this desk.
Just
You
get her
can-
on the flight.
I will not. I cannot get her on the flight, sir.
The flight's
Check-in
out
closed.
there. Why can't she get on the flight?
Just check-in closed at 5 past.
And we were here.
If you
You
were
have
here-
failed to do your duty.
No,
They
I
have failed
have
to do
not.
theirs.
No, we haven't.
This is just utter. I mean, she's only got a bloody little bag. She can just walk out there and get on the plane. It's there.
She cannot walk on a plane, sir, because to get on a plane you need a boarding pass. And get a boarding pass, you need to be here in time for check-in.
And we were.
And they were calling forward
No,
because I
they
made
weren't.
them do the thing. I'm not going to argue with you, sir.
What's she supposed to do now? I mean, I've driven like 200 miles to get her here. What, you know, I've got to be at work tomorrow. She's supposed to be at work in Scotland tomorrow. Her parents are waiting in Scotland for her tomorrow. It's a joke.
Back in Bristol, Mark and his son's girlfriend Jennifer are moving in for round 2.
You'll have a supervisor anyway. You'll have a supervisor anyway, or manager for your company.
She's upstairs boarding, so you would have to wait until...
She's actually what, sorry?
She's upstairs boarding the Edinburgh flight, so you'd have to wait till about 8 o'clock. It's absolutely fine. Unfortunately, it's gone off now, so if he does come back, he'll have to pay £25 for a new ticket.
But needs must, and Jennifer's job is on the line. Her only option is to put her pride to one side and transfer to tomorrow's flight.
You depart at 7, it gets there at 8:20.
Please help to reduce security.
I'm having to check into a hotel like near the airport and get a taxi there tomorrow. Like I start work at 1, so I'll be there on time, but it's like I would have been there definitely on time if I was got the flight tonight. And it's just I don't know, it's just really annoyed me and it's annoyed like a lot of people.
You're dealing with one passenger being all nice, you're trying to do your best for them, and you've got someone shouting from the other side. The passenger you're dealing with is getting a bit agitated. There's not really a lot we can do. I only have one system, I can only do one thing at a time. It's horrible. I just stand there and shake.
Back at Luton, browbeaten Mel encounters a regular problem.
I've got my passport and my driving licence. My wife hasn't got her passport, and neither does my son.
We do have to have one form of ID, like I say. You haven't got one of those.
So you won't, we can't fly?
No, not unless you have one of those. The only thing I can do for you now is transfer you onto the next flight.
I'll just go without me and forget about it. There must be something you could do.
No, there's not.
There's absolutely not. It's totally flexible. But why? What are you worried that
If I get on a train and go up to Scotland, I don't actually have to have
That's
a
a train,
passport
sir.
to get. Yeah, of course it's a bloody train, but it's going to the same place.
Right. Just low voice there.
I am getting just a slightly off of this, but
Well,
it
she's not
strikes
gonna
me
be-
as being
she's not gonna
very
do anything about
strange.
it.
I can't do anything about it, ma'am. We have no discretion.
I've got loads of identification. I've got loads of cards with me. I've got everything, but I haven't got a
You haven't got one
photograph.
of those.
No.
I was going from Luton and I was going to Edinburgh.
The problem appears to be that we haven't got our photo ID to try and travel to Scotland, which, as far as I can remember, was in the British Isles. What can we do? We're utterly hamstrung by these thick-headed people wearing orange suits who say, oh, can't do this, can't do that. I mean, you know, it's my son and my wife. It's not as though I'm importing some sort of strange 8-armed monster. How stupid is that?
The Tillys are supposed to be flying to Scotland for dinner with friends tonight, but if Caroline can't make the next flight, she'll be dining alone.
Hopefully I'll get home and back in time to catch that flight. If I miss that flight, I might just abandon the whole trip.
With the next flight to Edinburgh closing at 16:50, Caroline has just 1 hour 53 minutes to get home, find her passport and return to the airport. A journey that should take 2 hours. At Luton, the Edinburgh flight is moments from closing. For Caroline Tilly, it's touch and go.
God, it's me, I'm back.
She's made it. Just.
Nightmare. I had to sit for half an hour at Luton Airport waiting for a train. And then my dad met me at Wellingborough with my passport. And there was no train, so he's just driven me to Luton.
How did you see your passport ID?
Here it is. Here's the passport.
Finally, I've had a bit of a day with that today.
I have.
So, dinner with the family after all. The new departure screen in the bar apparently has a mind of its own.
Please tell me why this happened.
I don't know, basically. I really
Passenger Graham Sinclair was waiting for the delayed 1600 flight to Glasgow.
I went into the bar and just sat, ordered a pint, and I was looking at the screen, and it still says expected time 17:55. And then all of a sudden the screen changes and says, like, no, boarding gate 14. So I left that in my pint, walked upstairs, and looked at the screen and it says closed.
With the screens apparently urging people to stay in the bar until their flights have departed, it's not long before another passenger misses her flight.
She's saying basically that they didn't put the screens on final call, which they always do. It does it automatically.
I was watching that screen all the time. So it went from go to gate 16 to gate close.
all my colleagues who have spoken to me about yourself, they have been telling me that the screens did say that the gate was boarding. And
No, it did not. I can promise you it did not. Are you calling me a liar?
I never said that.
Well, you are, basically, aren't you?
No, those words.
You're basically calling me a liar. No, you've told me that what I've told you is not true. So you're basically calling me a liar.
And with the next flight to Nice fully booked, things are not looking good.
All I can do for you is transfer your flight tomorrow morning.
I want to be on the flight tonight.
You cannot get on the flight tonight. There is not one available seat.
And when the flight is not full because people don't turn up, what will you do?
Nothing.
Well, I think you should do something for me.
I can't do anything for you when people have brought
Right, I'm a journalist and you'll be. I will write up about how bad behaved you guys have been because, quite frankly, it's crap. You're going to put me on flight at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning?
I thought you just said airline's crap.
Can you get me a manager?
I can do, but he'll say exactly the
same.
same.
Can you get me a manager?
Yeah, I can. If you just
good.
Give me a minute.
Get him now.
Lindy Adlam and Graham Sinclair have missed their flights. They blame the departure screens. And EasyJet chief Matt Sherwood is called upon to sort it out.
I understand you were in the bar and you missed the final call to the gate?
Why the hell should I go and sit in some poxy gate when you're not even going to be taking off for another 2 or 3 hours?
OK, can I just bring you to the point that it did say on there, go to gate 16.
Of course it says go to gate 16.
But you didn't go.
No, I didn't go because the other people
What
are saying.
can we expect you to do?
The other people are saying final call.
Yeah, and then what
when
we
it
do.
says final call, you run, you go.
Well, if you choose to do that, then you run the risk of being offloaded, which you have.
Absolutely bollocks.
There's a child right behind you. Can you not swear?
Bollocks is not a swear word.
With Matt getting nowhere fast, his problems get twice as hard.
Flight with the exact same situation.
Your computer system is screwed.
Expected time, it says 16:55. Now, all of a sudden the screen changes and says boarding gate 14. Now, I left downstairs, went upstairs, and it says upstairs gate closed. An explanation would be lovely.
With no simple solution in sight, Lindy appeals to Matt's softer side.
I'm now going to miss a night with my daughter. I have very precious time with my daughter, and it's not fair.
Oh, no, don't get yourself upset.
No, I am upset. Because you don't care.
I do care.
No, you don't care. You could get me on the next flight, but you don't care. I have a small child who's dying to see me.
Okay.
I work so hard for my living.
Back in 10 minutes.
Still getting nowhere, Matt heads to the bar to check the mystery screens. Back in Luton, Matt's checking the bar departure screens. They work on a strict sequential system, the last three commands being boarding at gate, final call, and lastly, gate closed.
I've just gone and compared both screens, the one that was in the bar and the one that's in the main food court, and they're both running in sync and they're both showing exactly the same information. So all I can assume then is that passengers have had some confusion with what they managed to see in the time they looked at the screens.
With no apparent gremlins, Graham has probably just confused his delayed flight to Glasgow with the next Glasgow flight, which was departing on time just 30 minutes later. And Matt has a diplomatic explanation for Lindy.
All I'm saying is your strategy of boarding flights, those 2 or 3 minutes have cost you a flight.
You're telling me it's my fault?
It's not a fault thing, it's just that the strategy you chose has failed you today. I'm sympathetic to her, the fact that she had a child in Nice, but at the end of the day, she had made that mistake herself.
With nothing more that can be done, the two passengers agree to be moved to the next available flights.
The night is knackered, really. I had a meal booked for 7:30 this evening, so it's pointless now.
I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll probably have to stay somewhere locally and fly tomorrow morning.
With Lindy in search of a hotel, the bar screens are still working fine. It's just hard to read them sometimes. Art promoter Tony James has missed his flight after a brush with security.
This is the first time I've ever flown from Luton Airport, and it will be the last, and it'll be the last time I ever fly EasyJet, because I just cannot believe the system that you've got here, which is terrible, absolutely terrible. We checked in, we got here, the flight is at 10 to 5, we were late, but we got here at 10 past 4, checked in, went through huge queues in security there. We've just got through, they picked me up because they said I had a pair of nail clippers, all right, in my bag. When he got to them, he said, oh, those nail clippers are acceptable.
Well, security don't exactly ring us and say, right, we have queues at the moment.
Well, they should do, because that's completely stupid, isn't it?
Well,
isn't it? Admit it, come on. It's madness, isn't it? If you've got passengers being delayed to catch flights and security
that
don't
means
tell
security would be ringing each and every desk to say we've got queues here.
Well, why don't
and
they
there's
put
not
an
only
announcement
EasyJet
out? You must
here.
have a system here that lets you know if there's a problem. So, next flight to Warsaw, please. Can you make sure we're on it? I believe there's one at 7:30.
Okay, unfortunately, the next flight to Warsaw isn't until tomorrow.
Oh, you're having a laugh. It's the flight at 7:30, according to your screens. Are you sure? 7:20 to... Next flight, 7:20 to Warsaw, it says.
It says 4:50, so it'll have to be 6:50 tomorrow morning, I'm afraid.
So what do EasyJet do about that?
All we do is transfer you free of charge, sir.
All right, what about where do I stay tonight?
That's not up to us, I'm afraid. I can give you a hotel list and all that.
Right, well, as far as I'm concerned, you've been responsible. So the airport's been responsible for holding me up,
It's
making me
actually
late.
security, and you should have gone through as soon as we checked in, really, because if you're here
Right,
10
well, that's
past
what we
4,
did. We did exactly what we were told to do.
Flying for the first time with EasyJet, Mr. James has high expectations.
Now, I'm expecting a taxi to take me somewhere, put me up for the night and bring me back here for the right time tomorrow morning. You know, that's what I would expect any carrier to be responsible for.
Art promoter Tony James wants EasyJet to compensate him after he missed his flight. Supervisor Sam Jones has arrived to put him in the picture.
I've just rung the TDO, who's the airport duty manager, and I've just asked them if there were any problems with the queues at that time. He said, yeah, it was quite busy, but you were very late. So...
Well, it's after the horse has bolted. We've missed the flight. We're on the next flight. But what's going to happen tonight? I would expect you, having a responsibility towards your passengers, to do something for us overnight.
The responsibility ends at us transferring you onto the next flight.
So you're saying on camera you wouldn't do anything to help us, even though it wasn't our fault that we missed the flight?
Well, that's the debate. It's up to you to make sure you get to your departure gate in plenty of time.
Right, well, you heard it here. That's the way EasyJet deal with their passengers.
And there's another surprise waiting for Mr. James in his bag of woes.
There's a £25 rescue fee
You're having a laugh.
per passenger.
They're having a laugh. Surely Mr. Stelios is having a laugh. Is that how he pays for all those Mercedes that he buys? We see running around everywhere. I think that's totally wrong. You can't say that. The airport can pay that because we were held up by the airport security.
That's what I've just been told, I'm afraid. So it's £50 for both of you.
We've done everything we can. The airport's done everything they can. They stated there weren't really any queues. Nothing overly, nothing that would keep them there for 20 minutes. And I think basically he's just missed the flight and it's his fault.
It says EasyJet, the web's favourite airline. It doesn't say the passenger's favourite airline, does it?
We arrived here at 5:15. We've been standing in a queue.
No one
we get
said anything.
There. Nobody actually came round and said the Berlin flight is closing at any point.
I actually heard them myself.
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't. And I've got pretty keen hearing.
I had a lady and a gentleman go along the whole of the queues and they moved them all over.
I was standing there looking at things the whole time and he said, queue at desk 50, which is what we did for an hour and a quarter. And now we're told that there's no way.
Well, they did come along the queue, sir.
Well, they didn't.
They did
Bar.
do you think we would have minutes before they did, sir.
No, Bar was mentioned. That was the only one that
they
was
also
mentioned,
did
not
Geneva and Berlin, and we moved them to 56 to 59.
The girl
Sir, I've just stood there while they checked all the people in
and
that moved over.
Do you think we would have stood there if we hadn't
I can understand what you're saying, sir, but we had about 50 people that moved over from those queues over to the...
I shall never, ever fly EasyJet again, and I shall be writing to the manager.
That's fine, I don't have to transfer you then.
You don't have to transfer me?
No, not if you don't wish to travel with us.
I have no alternative on this occasion.
You just said you didn't want to travel with us.
I will on this occasion, but never again.
So
are you refusing now to give me a ticket to get to Berlin?
You don't want to travel?
No, don't be clever with me. I would like a ticket tomorrow morning, please.
Now I am going to transfer you, yes.
This lady is now refusing to give me a ticket to travel out of here to Berlin tomorrow.
For teacher Lynn James, PSA Mel Taylor is most certainly not her star pupil.
Matt, phone you on to tomorrow morning's flight.
Meanwhile, what do we do tonight?
Well, if you want a hotel, we can give you a hotel list.
At our cost?
Yeah, you'll have to take it up with EasyJet, I'm afraid. Okay, that's all done for you for tomorrow morning.
Yes, but I don't know what's happening tomorrow.
Okay, fine. 1 second, madam. It's okay, your flight tomorrow is at 9:40, check-in will close... Sorry, 6:30, check-in will close at 6 o'clock on the dot.
So let me be absolutely clear. The flight tomorrow is at 6:30.
Yes.
How long before the flight do we need to be here?
The check-in will open 2.5 hours before.
Right.
And it will close at 6 o'clock. The best thing to do is to look above the screens rather than look at the screen as you come in.
Today it's just been bedlam. No one really knows what they're doing. The check-in desk didn't have allocated desks. So everything was everywhere today and people didn't know whether they're coming or going.
Appalling. Absolutely appalling. The young woman over there was extremely rude.
Said she didn't have to give us a ticket.
No. In customer service terms, I think she would rate 0 out of 100.
It's rush hour at Luton Airport. A new communal check-in system is still causing confusion. Now, passengers check in at any desk for any destination. Announcements are made when a flight is due to close. But despite queuing for almost an hour, Robert Kiter, Nicholas Simonucci and Emily Perisol failed to hear the last calls for the Nice flight.
You said it's closed now. It's too late. It is closed, sir, but we will transfer you onto the next available flight. It's not helping me. Give me next flight. You see?
10 to 5. 5. Not half 5.
I left the office for half a day.
Not half 5.
Okay, so look, I will try and help you.
Why you didn't
Where? Because that's
why.
Checking.
You have all flights all there.
Yes.
This is organisation.
Sir, if you're going to continue swearing at me, I'm not going to deal with you anymore, sir. Okay? Mind your language and calm down.
My mother in the hospital, okay?
I understand that.
If I don't... No. Who is waiting for 45 minutes in the queue, and then we arrived on the counter and said, "Oh, Nice, it's closed."
It was not right. I am sure.
It's unbelievable. Why they changed it? Before it's Nice, Barcelona, every destination separated. Now it's all destination. You arrive, you don't know. You couldn't ask because there is a queue. If you try to ask, the people, oh, hang on, please, the queue is there. And then you wait like a donkey for 5 minutes and then it's closed.
We cannot accept passengers right up until the last minute of flight, otherwise the flight will never get away.
It's your problem. I pass 1 hour in your queue.
Okay.
If there is a place in the next flight, they will give me the next flight. If not, maybe tomorrow. It's unbelievable.
And for Robert, it's just the start of his problems. Despite arriving in plenty of time at Luton Airport, Robert, Nicholas and Emily have missed the Nice flight, and the news is about to get worse.
Unfortunately, the next flight I've got to Nice isn't until 7:10 tomorrow morning now.
They're going to need somewhere to sleep for the night.
You must pay the diner and the hotel because it's not because we arrive 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour, okay, 1 hour because your organization is 0.
Manager Sam Jones is keeping calm.
Where we sleep? Here, here, here. You sleep here.
I want to
here. And your smile when you say me. It's not problem. It's no problem. I think it's a bad organization of the airport because in Nice you have 1 TV for 1 flight, no all the TV for all flight. Okay, and I think it's a big fault of the airport.
We don't actually provide hotel accommodation for passengers that miss flights.
I commute with them every week since 3 years. But when you miss the flight, you are like a dog. They don't speak with you. Yeah, okay, you missed it, tomorrow.
They were a bit upset, to say the least. I have to deal with that sort of situation most days, to be honest. There's always someone that's going to be upset.
C'est la vie, c'est la vie. Thank you very much. Cheers.